Thank you for joining in. I understand that Sunday evenings are usually to relax and chill and just relax yourself and prepare for the next week. But so yeah, we are here to learn about uh, how can we all start our journey in the UI UX field. And so I'm going to start with giving my introduction, and I would then request you all to give your introductions as well. So uh, yeah, so I'm Divyani Bhuwalka, and I am a UX designer and a design mentor, and I've been working in this industry since the last 9 years uh, for now, and it's actually been an incredible journey. I've worked with different startups. I've worked with service based companies. I've worked with product based companies, where the founders just had an idea on a product and coming up with the possible solutions to that particular ideas, and building a product out of that idea. So I worked on fintech domains. I worked on finance based applications. I worked on education based applications. I worked on direct customer applications, B2B, B2C. I've also worked on applications for that are VR based, where you wear a virtual reality gear and you experience the product, uh, or have an experience real time. I've also worked on products for the Xbox applications, where users can actually open the application, read books on their televisions or the Xbox system that they have, and all of those things. So I'm going to talk about my journey. I'm going to talk about my experiences, and I'm going to give you an introduction about what does the future look like, and I will also talk about what will you be learning um, in the UI UX course that Inferent has to offer, and what are the benefits that one can have from this particular course, and how can you become a UX UI designer, and so on. And I am also open to any questions. So we will also have a small Q&A session, or ask me anything session, where you guys, when I give you an introduction about UX UI, you guys can ask me any questions that you have, and so on. So yeah, so let's start by introducing ourselves. And I would not only want to know your name and your location, but I am also curious to know about what is that you think is UX, or what do you think is user experience, and what is that you look forward when you want to learn this particular course. What do you think about what is UI or what is UX, versus not versus, but what do you look forward to learn, and what is that what you hear, and what is that you are looking forward to. So just maybe 3 or 4 lines about you, and about your thought process on the UX UI part. So let's get started. I mean, I have a list of names in front of me, and the first name that shows up is Kavita. So, Kavita, can you start just by introducing yourself?
Hello.
Hi, Kavita.
Hi, Divyani. I'm Kavita from Mumbai, and I have 5 years experience in graphic designing, and I
Mhm.
want to switch my career from graphic to UI UX. So I'm looking forward to be as a UI UX designer. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So just want to quickly one line, whatever it is, I'm not expecting 100% correct answers, but just what do you know about UX UI? So when you say that you want to shift your career to UI UX, just want to basic understanding of what do you think is UI or UX? Anything
It's a
that you-
customer. Yeah, it gives a customer easy journey to on new application on products. It's anything. It helps customer and give easy solution. I think that.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kavita. Yeah. Okay. Um, Aditya had raised his hand, then he did not also raise. So Aditya, do you want to get go? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, hi, myself Aditya Khaple. I am from the Pandharpur. Currently, I am in the first year of design and I am moving to Germany for the further studies.
Okay.
I am more interested in industrial design, and in that, UX design is just a part of the industrial design, and
Right.
UX designers work along with all the other designers, and it just work on the experience. So that's it.
Right. Okay. Um, Anybody else left out? Okay. So I've heard all of your perspectives on what is UI design or what is UX design. Now I'm going to tell you what exactly is a design. Okay. Basically you guys were almost correct where you guys did mention that UI or UX design. UI design is user interface design, obviously, and UI design is something that you, when you open an application or when you see something, right? That is what is a design, where you can maybe it can be a tangible product, or it can be an intangible product where you cannot touch it but you can see it, right? The look and feel of an application or a product or something that you see, that is a design, that is a UI design. Or so when we say UI design, that means user interface. That is when you see applications, or when you see, say, websites, or when you say tablet applications, or any virtual reality product or an AR experience, that is what is is a digital experience. And user experience is something the user experiences when the user actually uses a product. So say for example, if you have to open a door, right, and the door says pull, but usually when we have to open a door, we push it towards the forward, right? We push a door, but whereas on the door it's written as pull. So that is the user experience, what the user feels when the user uses a product. That is what is a user experience. We'll just quickly have a look at few examples of good design and bad design, and we will talk more about what is UI and what is UX, and what is the actual difference between UI design and UX design. So so this image on the left that you see is a bad design, and a good design is something that is there on your right. Now I would say this is a bad design because if you see the handle of this particular cup, right, it is not very comfortable or friendly enough for a user to actually pick it up and maybe drink coffee or tea, right? Whereas this handle that you see on the right hand side cup is a little more comfortable, and that's actually comforting. That's actually comfortable for a regular or a normal user, or a person to actually hold the cup and drink coffee, tea, or whatever it is. So Again, this is again a good design and a bad design. Now, this is obviously a bad design because if the user is if you see the side of the pistol that one has to shoot, it is towards the it's pushing towards that, and the handle, if you see in the bottom, it's not very comfortable. How would the user actually uh, catch hold of that? Versus if you see this, the handle and the point where the user has to trigger from, it's it's comfortable, right? It's pushing, it's pulling towards the user so that the bullet goes out properly. So that way, I would like to hear a few examples from you guys, if you have had a good experience or a bad experience. So, user experience is just not limited to the digital experiences. It can be in your real life as well. Say, for example, you go in an elevator, but you cannot figure out where are the buttons, which floor you want to go on. The buttons are not having the numbers written clearly, so you get confused as to which button to actually click. uh, or say if the elevator has Roman numbers written, so after a certain point it takes you a second or 2 seconds to actually figure out what number is what, right? So that is again not a good user experience. So I just want to hear something from you guys, maybe any experiences that you have faced in your real life that can be with an application, or it can be a real time experience. Anybody at all? Guys, don't tell me you've not faced any experience, bad user experience or a good user experience. There are good experiences and bad experiences in your daily life. I can think of at least three right now. Okay, so if you guys are not willing to answer, shall we proceed? So another example. Okay, so when I was saying that I can think of few examples. So you have these TV remotes that you have that comes with these televisions, right? You have such a long remote where you have Netflix, Amazon Prime buttons. You have on off two buttons. I mean, you have one for switching on the TV. You have one button for switching off the TV. Then you have volume up, volume down. You have channel change. You have like a circle button. Then you have a OK button. Then you have numbers. Then you have so many setting buttons, and all of those things. How many buttons on a daily basis do you guys use actually? I mean, on a daily basis, one would only use the volume button, and maybe one button for switching on the TV or switching off the TV, right? So why do you want to confuse your user given such a big remote with so many options? If you guys have got a chance to actually see the Alexa remote or maybe the Apple TV remote, they do not have anything. They just have one button for switching on and switching off, one button for mute, and they have a joystick in the center, and they just have one mic button. That's it. So you don't have to actually give so many buttons to the users just to confuse them. Another example when I talk about remotes is again the AC remote, right? Your air conditioning remote. How many buttons on a daily basis do you guys use? You have one button again for switching on off, one button for maybe your temperature control. Uh, Maybe few users also um, Yeah. So maybe one or two users might use the sleep timer, right? Apart from that, who wants to do a temperature control every day? Who wants to change the fan speed every day, turbo speed, uh, and then the swing, this and that? I mean, that's unnecessary confusion to the users, right? Another example that I can think of, when you go and buy vegetables. Yes, so swing on off temperature control, so all of those things. Another example that I can think of is when you go to these supermarkets and you buy fruits or vegetables, especially fruits. These guys have this sticker on top of your apple or your pears or the pears or the mango and all that, right? And they say that that is an edible sticker. But how many of you actually eat that edible sticker? I have not heard anybody eating that sticker actually, right? So people have to take that extra effort of removing that sticker and then consuming that apple or pear or whatever is the fruit. So that is again an extra effort that the user has to actually take. So that is again a bad user experience. You don't have to put that sticker in the first place at all. Another example is this, where um, what happens, I think this is a confusion. This should be a good design and this should be a bad design, because when your ketchup is over, right, if it is kept upside down, you can complete all of your taking the ketchup is easier this way than this way. Again, good design, bad design. So people wouldn't be able to sit on this, obviously, right, because that curve is towards the top, it's not comfortable. This is a flat chair, so this is a good design. Another example of good design and bad design, how would a user use this? So that's a bad user experience or a bad design. So um so based on the examples that I've given, based on whatever examples I've spoken about, do you guys now at least have an idea of anything, any experiences that you would like to share? You guys can talk about the IRCTC website, how it has actually evolved during the last few years. How was it earlier? How was it? How's the experience now and all that? So I'm giving you a hint also of what you guys can talk about.
I would like to show one. I just wanted to share my screen. Should I? Or
You can talk about it actually. I don't
okay,
think. Yeah.
okay. So there's a toilet which is built by ncbc.com and the designer is Co Coles Numi and he built the toilet around for $7,000. So he added Alexa, Amazon, soundbox, and lighting in the toilet. I was like, what the hell? Why we needed this? So I think that's a recently very bad design.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually that's overdoing UX.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he probably the founder or the creator of that particular that person. He must have thought that somebody who is in the washroom might want to listen to music or anything. So yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that's a good example. So yeah. Anybody else? Any experiences?
I have an experience.
Yeah.
So the coffee cup, like some of the cups were square in shape, and
Okay.
yeah, normally the coffee cups used to be a circle, but when it's square in shape, it makes some kind of like uneasiness while drinking. So
Okay.
that is one example.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else before we proceed?
The push and pull door, basically, when you are trying to open a door, you push it by have it. So sometimes it's written pull, so you have to pull it. So
Yeah.
that's one example which I
ये
can give.
मेरा नहीं है।
Yeah.
ये मेरे क्यों उठा के ला रहे थे?
Uh,
करो ना इसको।
okay. I think somebody
हाथ लगा के
is. Okay, yeah, thank you, Nikita. So, okay, so we are going to now talk about how has the evolution of UI UX design has actually taken place, right? How many of you are actually fans of Disney or animated movies and all of those things? You guys can, you don't have to unmute or anything. You guys can just raise your hands. I'll see that. Okay. Okay. I think a lot of you guys. So one of the earlier examples in the 1960s and all that. So Walt Disney was actually one of the uh, vital. I mean, he was one of the actual players where he actually built that Disneyland. Have you guys all seen that? Actually, people go to Singapore or I don't know if it is in Singapore or Paris or where is it, where you have the actual uh, the Disneyland thing. I think you have it in Malaysia or somewhere. I don't know exactly, but he built that Disneyland only because so the users, the fans of Disney can actually go and get a feel of how the Disneyland looks like. How can a user feel the real experience? I mean, they wanted to give a feeling of how it actually is. So that is the reason why uh, the Walt Disney actually built the entire Disneyland so that uh, their audience can actually go and experience the entire uh, Disney. Another example of few more examples of the evolution is when we actually had in the early 90s we had the machine age. It was actually made to actually when the user can actually touch and use the machine. I mean, they can cater and they can use it more efficiently. They can actually customize it and build a product out of it. So that is how it came. Then Toyota came into picture. They actually built their own products. Then you had a company which actually introduced or invented the graphical user interface where everything could go online, where we could build interfaces. And that is how Steve Jobs and Bill Gates actually built their systems. Then came Don Norman, who's the actual creator and he is known as the father of UX, and so on. I mean, then there were David Kelly and Jacob Nielsen, who actually focused on creating designs and creating that experience in products and all of those things. And then obviously you all have heard about AR technology, VR technologies, and all that. So right from having real time experiences like the physical experiences to getting all of those experiences, your real time, your real life experiences, to your digital experiences. So that is how actually that's the actual evolution of UX. You guys remember seeing those? Have you all? I'm sure you all have used these button mobiles, right? Where you, if you had to type a message, it actually used to take so many clicks to actually type one particular letter. How many of you have actually used such kind of mobile phones? So I'm sure these guys who, there were a few people who mentioned that somebody's in the 12th standard or something. Have you particularly used? I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I have used in the childhood.
Okay. So first was this kind of a keypad where you just had numbers, and to type one particular alphabet, you had to press that one particular button multiple times. Then came BlackBerry, where you had a physical button where you had a QWERTY keypad. and then that entire keypad came on your touch phones, where you actually had that in your digital. You could actually just touch and type, and now uh, you have those scribbling gesture, right, where you just swipe and the word automatically comes up. So that's again an evolution of user experience. So there were so this was the Apple's computer design. I mean, a personal laptop. This is how it used to look like in the early 90s and all that. And now when you say you have a MacBook, it looks like this, right? You don't have so many different products to carry. You just have a small laptop and you can carry it wherever you want. So again, that is an example of user experience design. um, so like I've kept mentioning that user experience is nothing but your real time experiences that you can do over the digital world, right? So let it be driving to a place where you have to just open your map and you can navigate. You have automatic cars, you have these machines that you can operate from your mobile phones itself. You have music. In the earlier world, I mean, in the earlier times, you used to have a big music player. These days it's just one app that you have on your mobile phones. You don't have to have like a speaker, and you don't have to carry your amplifiers and all those things. So those are all the real time experiences that we get into the digital world. And the user experience is the same. Basically, if somebody has to design music, or if they have to listen music, they can just click on one app and they can listen to whatever music they want. So I do have a few uh, I do have a few videos that I would like to share, that gives us a little more example of how we have the how we have evolved from real time experience to we have how's that evolution happened. So I'm just going to stop sharing and I'll share my screen again, and we'll just see a quick video about it.
Relationship between India and Pakistan is one that has
So basically, the those guys were trying to give that real time feel to the users when they actually play the game. So when you were seeing that the guys were playing uh, the game, that was actually happening in the real time in the background. This is just another example. Sorry, thank you. Sorry, yeah, thank you, thank you, guys. So yeah, so that was just a video where it was showing how can technology actually connect to people who are at the other side, right, of the border and all that. You really don't know. I mean, we are based on the experiences. We just know that they that we don't know how the people are at that side. So things like this, like the technology, it's just an experience where people come and then they talk to each other, and giving that experience and that accessibility to the user where they can actually interact with each other and they actually know how the other person is, and then they can connect. So next is what do you understand by actually what is user experience, right? What is actually UX design? So it's basically a process where you actually empathize with your users. You listen to what the users have uh, problems with. They have, if there is an existing problem that they have, we will obviously, as user experience designers, it's our duty to think of possible solutions. What is the what how can we solve that problem? We ideate on what are the possible solutions, and then we design the applications accordingly. So that is a process where we as UX designers are going to actually play a role of. We will actually think about what the users feel. We will empathize with how we empathize with the users. We will think of possible solutions, and we will design our products and the apps that will cater to their needs. So that is what is actually a user experience. Just an example of UX design. So if you've started observing how shopping online has changed, right? If you've seen the Lenskart application, the website, what the Lenskart guys do, or lets the user do, is they just ask the user to switch on their camera, and they take the exact face and position of the user, and they let the users actually try the lenses that they have to offer, right? You can see, you can move your face and see how is it going to look from the side, how is it going to look when you actually wear it. So that's an experience that you get sitting right at your home. You don't have to actually go to the showroom. You don't have to actually try on your spectacles and shades and see how it will look on you and then buy. You can buy it right from your house itself, right? So that is an example of user experience design. Similarly, if you have started observing, there are apps which actually ask you to switch on the camera of maybe your footwear. When you buy a footwear, you can just switch on your camera, and the camera will pick the sizes of your foot, and then it will start suggesting your footwear that you've already probably selected one. It will give you the size range, the size of your foot, and then you can buy that product, right? So that is again an example. Another example, okay, sorry, another example of UX design is when just trying to think, yeah, when you have to order food, right? You can order it through all these apps Swiggy, Zomato, and there are so many applications where you can buy food right sitting right at home. You don't have to go to the restaurant, order, wait in that line, and then you don't have to do that entire process. Somebody else will get it for you. You just have to order it through the app. Okay. Um and okay, let's proceed and see what exactly is UI design. So that is user experience design, where you don't have to let or when you're just giving that ease to that user. They can sit at home and do whatever they want, or they can do whatever they do in their real life, they can do it through applications, and they can do it online. Now, what is UI design? UI design, like I said earlier, UI is user interface. So, whatever experiences you try to build online when you do it digital, that is UI design, that is user interface design. Um, so, so yeah, so that is user interface design. Um, so yeah, I mean, whatever you see on your mobiles, whatever, these days we have a dark theme and a light theme. When you're using Facebook, whatever you see, or when you're using Instagram, whatever you see on the application, that is user interface. So whatever you see, and whatever you can actually navigate through and all that, that is user interface design. So whatever you see over here, this is just an example of user interface. So I also want to tell, or I just want to also show you a quick uh, example of what is actually the difference between UX and what is the difference between UI. So what's the actual difference between UI design and UX design? Let me know if you guys can actually see my screen.
No, we can't.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just trying to share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible now? So UI and UX, right? There is a process, like I kept mentioning, that user experience is basically when we empathize with our target audience. We actually learn about who's going to be our target audience. We are going to learn about that persona. We try to create task flows. We try to do a lot of documentation. We prototype and we try to test it out with our users as to the solution that we are trying to provide, how accessible is it to our users, is it something that they are looking forward to. We do a lot of usability testing, meaning we talk to our users that this is the solution that we are coming up with. Is it something that you are looking at? Is this something that is going to solve the problem that you have? And so all of these, we do a lot of user research as to what actually, like I mentioned about the empathy. We empathize with our users and all that. Whereas on the other hand, UI is more of what colors to use, what font to use, how will be the layout, how is it going to look, where is this button going to be placed, what should be the color of that particular button. It's more of how is it going to look, and how is one going to look and feel about the application. Whereas UX on the other side is something that how is the user going to actually interact with that particular product, and so on. So that's the difference between UI and UX. So I would say UI is a part of UX. It's basically not two different things. So people call it UI UX designer, but It's not UI UX designer, it's just UX designer, because when somebody is a UX designer, by default UI comes under UX. So UI is just one small part of the entire UX flow. So why is UX actually important? So user experience, UX is basically user experience, right? When you have a product but it's actually not usable, what's the point of having that application, right? Or if you're not able to actually let the user perform that task, say for example you're using Zomato application, and it has a very good looking UI, no doubt. It has fancy button, it has good animations and all that. But at the end of the day, you don't know how to actually place an order on Zomato. What is the use, right? You you don't have a proper user experience that you're giving to your users. Or say ordering that particular food, it takes a lot of steps, it takes a lot of clicks for the user to actually place an order. In that process, that user will feel bored, or he or she will lose that interest in ordering. The user would rather think that I'll just directly call the restaurant and place my order, and I'll go and collect it. So the process and the solution, or the number of steps that you have, that is user experience, right? That should be limited, and that should cater to the exact needs of the user. Say now, if for example, now if you have to order food from Zomato or Swiggy or any other application, the number of clicks are limited, right? You open the app, based on your location, based on the time of the day, uh, you will see, or you will observe that the restaurant suggestions that we see are based on the duration of the day. So for example, I'm not sure if you guys have actually observed this, but if you open the application, the Swiggy or Zomato application, during 9 a.m, 10 a.m, or probably before 12 p.m, you will be able to see restaurants that offer a breakfast menu. Then similarly, when you open it during the lunchtime, you will get suggestions from where you can order lunch. Again, in the evening or maybe late night, you'll see restaurants that come according to the duration of the day. That is one user experience example. Another example that I was talking about is the number of clicks. So for example, if you want to order coffee, uh, say you will get suggestions, you select the coffee, you select the quantity, and then you just place the order. You choose the location. Even the location, if you have multiple locations added in your account, you only then you have to choose a location, or else that is also pre-filled, right? And then you place your you make the payment, and you place the order. Now just imagine if even one of these steps over here would have the flow that I'm talking about would have one or two extra steps, you would lose interest over there. So that is the reason why user experience is important. um, okay, so let's see few good user experience design examples. So why is this a bad design, and why is this a good design? So uh, over here, if you observe, we have a lot of icons over here, which is actually talking by itself, right? If you see the icon, you don't have to actually read. And these days, none of the users actually read content. They just scan the content that they have. Over here, you don't know what is next, or probably you don't know what is going to how many steps are there, or how long is this process going to be. Over here, you can see that there are 5 steps, and you are on step 1 out of 5. So that is why this is a good design. And if you have to, over here there is an indication where the user knows that you can multi-select. You can select storm, you can select leaves and harvest at the same time. Whereas over here, you don't know if you have to actually select something or if you have to tap on this button or this button and all, right? Even the graphic over here, it looks much neat, clean, and colorful. So that way, this design on the right hand side is a good design, and this is a bad design. We So I want you guys to probably you guys can put it on the chat, or at least just unmute yourself and just give me an answer as to left or right or whatever it is, right? Okay, I just want to, let's just quickly make this session a little interesting. Let's do it by unmuting yourselves, okay? So what you have to basically do is, I'm going to show you examples and you guys can tell me either left, right, or A, B, whatever is a good user experience design, or a good design, or a bad design. So I want you guys to tell me which is a good design. Okay, so I'm getting answers for A. So A is the right answer, because if you observe over here, if you observe this over here, it says OK and cancel. So you really don't know what will happen if you click on OK. But whereas if you say delete, the user will understand 100% that if I click on this button, it's going to delete my account. So A is the correct answer. Over here, which design is a good design? Okay, people are saying B. So B is the correct answer, because if you observe over here and here, the look and feel of the app, it looks a little clustered over here, whereas over here it's all neat and clean, right? So that is why B. Which one is a good design? A is a good design. B. Okay, so yes, B is a good design. Now again, if you observe the the flow and the look and feel of this, it's all over the place, right? You have blank spaces over here, this and this, it's too big, it's hitting on my face, and so on. The icons over here left and right, yes, the icon is also not good. Obviously it does need improvements, and it is not consistent as well. So B. Which is a good design? Yes. So B is a good design, because you really can't read. I mean, why is this in a fancy font? You don't need that. So B is the right answer. Just, I think this should be the last one. What? Which one is a good design? A. Yes, because again, if you see over here, it's all over the place, right? It's unnecessary. Uh, it's just spread out unnecessary over here, whereas this is neatly done and all that. Okay, so like I was mentioning, what is the user experience design process? So when we start working on a project, we actually empathize with the users, right? We try to understand their requirements, their pain points, their needs. So this is that's empathizing. Then we start defining their when we learn about our users, we start defining the task flows, as to what should be the actual flow of the users. How would one user, if they have to complete a task, like I was talking about the Zomato, or probably ordering food using your mobile phone, right? What is the process, what should come first, what should come second, what should the user click to go on to the next uh, page, and so on. So we define the task flows, then we ideate on how can we improvise on the the user experience. Basically, how do we design the applications? We do a lot of wireframing, we do a lot of sketches over here. We learn about what colors should go. We learn about, or we try to experience. We try to play around with the typography and all of those things. Then we prototype. We basically build a product that is that's quick and can be used by the users. We do a lot of usability testing. We see if the product is actually usable by the end user, and then if in case we have feedback from the user, or if the user has any complaints, or if they're still not able to, if we have still not solved the user's problem or the pain point, we again come and we again go back to the user, take their feedback, and then the process is again the same. So this basically is our UX design process. We empathize, we define, we ideate, we prototype, and we test. So yeah, I was just saying, like, empathy is where we try to understand the pain points of the users. Then we start defining uh, how should the goals of the user be met. We strategize on how can that be improvised and all that. So I think, yeah, we'll do a quick activity again. So I think we have shared. There's a link in the chat if you observe. I just want you guys to open that link, and that's a whiteboard. Basically, I want you to pick one scenario from here where. Okay, I want you to pick one scenario from here uh, based on whatever I'm sharing, and I want you to create a quick task flow. It can be a 2 or 3 click task flow that you can create, or it can be a 5, 6 step, whatever, based on whatever scenario you're choosing. So it's not a very difficult task that I'm giving you all. I would, okay, let me just share my screen again. So what you all have to do is click on the link that our team has shared. I want you all to just, if you want, you can select a background. I want you to take this sticky note, write your name, put it over here, and I'll show you how to create a task flow. And I just request you all can just click on this to create a new frame over here. So you have this option on top. All of you, you can just click on next. You can select the sticky note, probably just write your name, and place it on top. Okay, sorry, I'm going to delete this. uh, Guys, just sorry guys, just create a new frame, each one of you, and then you guys can start creating it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly show you the screen, and I'm going to create a task flow for uh, how to book a flight ticket. So I'm going to take the text tool from here. I'll say open app, and then what do we say? Search a flight. Open flight details. Oh, sorry, I need to first, before selecting my flight, search flight, I will instead write enter destination. right? And they say search flights, and then I'll say select a flight. Sorry, after entering the destination, then I also have enter dates, right? Enter travel dates. Search flight, and then I'll just say book. Okay, I'm just fast forwarding my process and book. So this is basically my it's just a task flow, right? Of booking the flight ticket, booking a flight ticket. So it says search for the cheapest make payment options. Yeah. So these are basically the steps when we have to buy a ticket. So I want you guys to just pick one of these, and let's just create a task flow. So say first let's yeah so first let's just say banking. When you say banking, uh, okay, user goals, is it? Sorry. Oh, sorry, I think I just got confused, guys. Just 1 second, I'm sorry. So my user goals for flight booking is, so the user goals is basically to book when a user wishes to purchase a flight ticket, the respective user goals will be book flight tickets, search for cheapest flights, make multiple payment options, and canceling the tickets, obviously. Yes. So sorry. So what you have to do is, under banking or food delivery app, so whatever you choose, I want you to write 5 user goals. Meaning, if you're selecting banking, they might want to probably make a payment, or maybe see their account balance. So that is a user goal, right? Under food delivery options, food delivery app, what is it? Maybe track food, or cancel an order, or something like that. So just pick one topic each, and let's just create 5 user goals under each one of them. So you guys can actually start by creating one frame each. Let's do this in for the next 10 minutes. I mean, I'm just going to leave you guys for 10 minutes, and we'll connect back in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, it's just a simple activity. So you guys can start by creating new frames from here. Write your name on the top, and write the 5 user goals of each topic that you pick. Um, guys, are we done? I see Yamni is just done. She has started on the other one also. So you can just pick any one topic. So it can be either banking or food delivery app, or online shopping or cab booking. So just any one of the four.
Divyani, you are on mute.
No, I'm not talking anything. I'm just waiting for another 3-4 minutes, and so we'll just proceed.
Okay, okay.
Um, so guys, are you all done? Let's take another 2 minutes, and we'll proceed with the next part then. So basically, user goals are basically the tasks that the user would want to come on the app and perform. So it so when I was talking about the flight tickets, uh, it's basically they can actually see the status of their ticket. They can see the seat number, check the PNR, check the timing of the flights. Cancellation is there. So those are all the user tasks or the user goals that the user would want to come on the application or the product and perform. So similarly for banking, food delivery, online shopping, or cab booking. So I want you guys to write 5 user goals for each. Okay. So I'm going to proceed with the next part of our session, where we are going to start creating the user flow. Now, based on whatever tasks you have written, basically, if you've written, say, the user would open a banking application to pay amount, check balance, payment history. So, what will be the user flow of it? So, you already have open app, you have pay amount, check balance, payment history, and then log out. But instead, what will be the flow? What will the user see first, second, third, and when the user clicks on pay amount, what will be the next task, and so on. So I want you guys to create a flow out of the tasks that you've given. So let's see what others have done. So what Yamini has done is under banking, check balance, recharge mobile, pay electricity, loan amount, insurance. So when you say check balance, what is the first task that the user would have to do? So say login, then maybe click on check balance, and then you will get the balance. For few experiences, what also happens is the user has to click on the account number, and then they get the statement with the statement as in the last 10 transactions and the account balance. So if you say for recharge mobile, what's the flow? The user would have to log in to the net banking, or yeah, so the user will have to log into the net banking, and then uh, go to payments, then select recharge, then enter the mobile number, then enter the amount, or maybe choose existing packages, then pay the amount. So that is the flow of recharge mobile. So similarly, I just want you guys to on the same frames that you're working in the side, you can just start creating that flow. On the right hand side, you guys have enough space right on that. Whose is this frame? Could you please take a sticky note and write your name? You can pick your sticky note from the left hand side panel. I'm not sure whose frame is this. Okay. So yeah, so you've already done. So Aditya has already created the task flow, and basically the user flow and the user uh, goals. So Aditya, I would just request you if you could just move this and just list down the the user goals. So we know that you've completed both the tasks. Harshi's frame is
Okay.
empty. Vidya, yes. Okay. So, Vidya, what you've done is, yeah, okay. So these are just again the user goals, right? What I want you to do is, you can just move both of these two towards the left, and on the right hand side, you can start creating your flows. You can just pick one or two tasks, and you can create the flow on the right hand side. So for this as well, let's just take 15 minutes, and yeah, let's take just 15 minutes for this task, please. Okay, yeah. So you guys have actually done it in the right way. So what happens is we basically define how efficiently are we going to design the user's experience when we are designing a product. So so yeah, these are all correct. This is how it is actually done, and this is a very quick or a very small task flow that we have created. Uh, when you start actually learning more about user experience design, what actually goes when you start working on different type of applications and all that, so there'll be there'll be large task flows that you'll have to design. You start designing task flows for each and every task that the user would perform, even if they have to update their say for example a profile picture on the application. There's a task flow involved in that as well, that how efficiently or how quickly can they change a profile picture. Can they click a new picture and upload it right there, or can they just upload it from the gallery, or so on. So this is just an example of how user experience designers actually work. So we first empathize with our users, we start defining, then we start ideating, then we actually we design, we prototype, and then we test it out, right? So this is the entire process. Like I've already we already spoke about this. We empathize, we define, we ideate, we prototype, and we test. So this is our UX design process. I'm going to talk about a little about user interface design. What are the elements that go under UI designing? Like I mentioned, that UI designing is more of colors, the layouts, the typography, and all of those things. So I'll talk a little about what is color theory, why is it important in the UX process, and all that. So when I say medical, or when I say let's say ambulance, or let's say when I say Christmas, what are the colors that come in into your mind when I say Christmas? Right. So you have red, green, and all that, right? That's because the Christmas tree is green in color. You have Santa Claus, that is red color, right? When I say ambulance, or when I say medicine, or when I say medical emergency or something like that, so you have uh, we have certain colors that come up in our mind, or there is certain psychology that we have behind each and every color. So we have red for danger, we have green for good, we have red again, we have yellow for a particular color. So there is a psychology behind using each and every color, right? And that is something that we will be learning in the course. We will be learning about what is actually which color is associated with what, and so on. So again, yeah, this is just again a very quick uh, uh, game that we have. So what do you recollect when you see this color, or when you see this logo? What is that that comes into your mind?
Mastercard.
Yes, Mastercard. So that is again, they've used this branding, or they've used this color for a certain reason. When you see this, what comes into your mind? Starbucks, right? Yeah. So this logo is Starbucks logo, right? the BMW logo. So the left-hand side is the BMW logo. So each color, each and every color, which brand is this associated with? Yeah. So the left-hand side one is a surf excel color. So each and every color that every brand uses, there is a certain psychology behind using one or the other, any color for that matter. So another important aspect is the typography, the font selection, the size of the font, the intensity of the font, if it is bold, if it is underlined, or whatever it is, right? So why do we use bold? We have a psychology, we have a logic from a user experience perspective. So we will be learning all of those things in this course, and this is again a part of the user experience, a designer's experience basically. So let's again just quickly play a game. Which one do you think is looking good? B, right? So because A has a lot of space in between, that is why that is why B is good. So basically, yeah. So the B is the right answer. Which one is good looking? A. Yeah, same thing. If you observe over here, there's a lot of tracking. There's a lot of space in between. So which one is good? Yes. So the B one is a good option. Is a good design. So what do UX designers actually do? I'm just going to basically summarize all of the points that I've actually mentioned. uh, the user experience designers, they actually research on the users. They conduct research on the target audience. They empathize, then they understand their pain points, what is the needs of the user, what is the actual problem of the user, and in case we are designing a product, what is that the user would want from the product, what is the ultimate goal of the users. Then they actually design, they do a lot of testing with the products, and then they actually design and build the product. So what are the career scope in UX design? I would say, based on my experience and the current market, the COVID situation, the pandemic, and all of those things, the career scope is huge. I mean, you actually have a lot of career options in UX design, and it's a little difficult to get started. But once you get started in the UX design, once you start learning about UX design, once you start understanding what exactly is UX design and all that, you have a lot of scope in India and outside as well. So you have a lot of scope in the UX design field. Uh, so how can you get started with UX design? I would say, on based on again my personal experience, you need to just have that curiosity in yourself, right? That when you're designing an application or when you have a problem, you go ask the user what is your problem, or what is the actual problem you face while you are doing this task or while you're performing this task. Why do you have this issue? Why do you think this is an issue? What do you think uh, could be a good user experience? Why do you think this is the right method to perform this task? What are the alternate solutions that you can think of? So if once you have that curiosity in yourself, you don't need anything at all. You just need to be curious, and there is no particular qualification that you actually need to get into the UX career. I mean, to have a UX career. Um, so, what are the job profiles in the UX industry? So, first and foremost is a UX researcher, where the researcher is only going to perform tasks, or is only going to do competitive research. They're going to learn about the existing patterns, the existing applications that are there in the market. How can we improvise? How can we, if you're building a new product, how can we cater to the audience? What is that the user would need? They go talk to the actual users, let it be on field, online, or over calls, emails, whatever is the possible way. There are a lot of users who actually give out a lot of reviews in the Play Store or App Store. So if you download if you download an application, right, if you go to the Play Store, there'll be a lot of feedback that the users give. So the researcher actually reads all of those things. So it's just a way where you can get certain insights from the users. UX writer, what language or the what tone of the application should be set? How is the application talking to you when you read something on the application? What should be said? When should it be said? How should it be shown to the user? How long the text should be, and so on. So that is what UX writer does. UX designer, so whatever we have been talking about, right, from doing the user research, creating task flows, creating information architectures, creating wireframes, creating visual designs, doing all the research, all the designs, and all that. That is basically one man army is a UX design. Apart from UX, you also have a product designer, where the product designer's role is also to get involved with the business team and actually see if the product that he or she has designed is actually working as per the expectations of the business. Meaning, if he or she has designed a product or an application, is it working properly? How are the users reacting to it? Are they actually using it based on the research that has been done, or or are they dropping off? So if they're not using the product, he does a research about why is the product not working, at what task or at what page is the user actually not using the product further, and so on. A visual designer, basically a visual designer's profile or a job role would be just to take all the wireframes from the UX researcher or the UX designer and just add colors and just focus on the look and feel of the application. It's more to do with just the UI part of the application, where just the colors, the typography, how is it looking, and all that. That is a visual designer's role. And freelancer, obviously, if you want to work on your own, be an entrepreneur or anything, you can also have, or you can also do that. A career path, a typical career path of a UX designer is, he she gets started as a junior designer, then senior designer, then design manager or lead designer, and then a senior design manager, and then the director of design. So this is a typical, I would say, a typical roadmap of a UX designer. Yeah, so this is basically just what is the salary range of a UI or a UX designer in India. So the average salary is 15.5 lakhs per annum, I would say. Uh, a starting range would be good 5 to 10 lakhs per annum, which is 47%. And as in how you keep growing in the market, your salary also keeps increasing. So, like I mentioned, that there is a huge scope in India, especially, or even outside, right? So these are the companies that are giving out this range of salaries. In other countries, so USA, in the US, you have $97,000 a year. So this is again like, it's just a data that we've collected for you all, just so that you all know that there's a lot of scope. Okay, so we are almost towards the end. So if you guys have any questions, I can answer to those.
Ma'am, like many of my friends say that like UX design is just a small part of design. You did not get the actual understanding of the design. So it is better like you do your bachelor's in product or industrial and for masters you go to UX design. So you can get a holistic approach. What do you think about this?
Sorry, I lost you in the second half of your question. So you said lot of your friends say that UX design is what?
UX design is just a small part of the whole design process. So you don't learn actually to design the product. So
Mm-hmm.
for bachelor's you can go for product or industrial, and for masters you can go for design. Then you will have the whole understanding of design.
Okay. Okay. So what usually happens is coming from probably a design background where you are actually learning. I mean, you're doing a design course at college and school. I would say they are partially correct, but when you are doing user experience, right, you are completing the entire process. So I think you must have understood what your friends are saying, because you are basically doing the entire process, right? When I would say, in fact, the course that Inferent offers, right, we also have where we teach how to use the software. So if in case you don't know how to use a design software and all that, so you'll get a hang of it as in how you keep learning. So when you start empathizing with the user, right, when we started, you start empathizing and then you slowly start building the product. I also spoke about different job roles in the UX career, right? uh, Basically the answer to your question is that you will get a hang of the entire design process and the entire product, because as a user experience designer you are designing the entire experience for your user. You cannot just design one part of it. You can't just uh, talk to the users and leave it. You're not designing it. So there are different processes that you are involved as a UX designer, so you are involved in the entire process.
Okay, is it need sketching skills like automobile design or in industrial design?
No. So all of those things are different fields.
Yeah,
So you don't need those skills. So like I mentioned, right, you just need that curiosity inside you. That's it. Sketching, we don't sketch out fancy stuff, right? We just sketch out very basic sketches where we are just designing a rectangle, or we are designing a circle, we are designing a star or something, or just basic stuff like that. We are not designing a car or something, right? Or you know how to draw a car also, if in case you have to
yeah.
design. But over here we are just creating digital applications.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
I wanted to ask how much of coding is required in this particular field since we are working with digital products. So
Hmm.
I wanted a bit clarity on that.
Okay, zero. The answer is zero. So, as user experience designers, you don't have to even write one single piece of code. In fact, the softwares that we use, Figma, XD, you will be able to provide code to your developers. Meaning, the software these days generate certain codes automatically. So, in fact, if your developers need code, you can give them that, but you don't have to have any knowledge of coding.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How can we uh, find clients? Sorry, what was that? Okay, how can we find clients as fresher in this field? Do you suggest interning with companies? So, Yamini, what happens usually is, right, when you are a fresher, I say this to a lot of students who actually I mentor. You need to have a strong portfolio. And in order to have a strong portfolio, or at least have a portfolio in the first place, need not be strong, but just to have a portfolio, you need to keep working towards it, right? You start working on projects that probably when I say project, you might have a problem in mind that you want to solve a particular problem. Say, what can be there? Say you want to design a banking application. The applications that we already have, they might be breaking at some point of view, right? When you do some research, you will find out something that is not working 100% correct. So you work on probably some new idea that you have, or something that is existing, you want to do a better design of it. So you create a case study, you create your portfolio, and I would say behance, I mean, when you upload your portfolio, when you have something online to show it to your clients, or to show it to the audience out there, people, I mean, you do need a kickstart, I would say. I agree to that point, but behance in fact has a lot of scope. When you start uploading your projects over there, there are companies that are reaching out to people who have good portfolios. And in order to build a portfolio, you need to work towards it. You can create, you can take something that is existing and do a better version of it. Or if you have some ideas, you need.
You are mute, man.
Okay, sorry. So when I was saying for so I was answering for the second half of your question, the internship part. Interning with a company will just help you. That is also that I would recommend, because you get to learn a lot of things, right? You get to know how companies work, how clients work, right? It's basically you are having a stepping stone. Basically, you can take leverage of going wrong, but at the same time not getting blamed for it. So because when you're working with companies, it's basically you have a bigger team, you have people around you, and to guide you, to tell you what is good, what is wrong, and all of those things. So if you get an internship opportunity, I would say grab that, and meanwhile work on your portfolio as well, so that you can catch hold or get good customers, and then shift to freelancing, or probably take up a better opportunity in good companies or whatever it is. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to
Uh,
discuss? Huh.
so the UX design only design the digital things. I mean, like consider washing machine. So UX design only deal with the buttons and all on the washing machine, not the physical form of the
So
machine.
okay. So, Aditya, what you are talking about is a part of industrial design and all of those. I mean, when you're talking about the products that you are talking about, what usually happens is the products that I am talking about is all the digital products.
Yeah.
User experience designer obviously is involved in the industrial design and all of those things also, where you're designing a physical washing machine, or you're designing an automobile car, or you're designing your the mobile phones and all that, right? That is all a different field altogether. But and and actually, if I have to say, that is actually a product. But in our domain, in the UI UX domain that I'm talking about, that I've been talking about, When I say product, it is I refer to the applications, or I refer to
Digital products.
yes, digital products. Let it be a website or a mobile app or a web app or whatever it is. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ma'am, even to get an internship in a company, I still require a portfolio, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So, yes, so working towards your portfolio, right? Portfolio or case studies, it is always a good idea. And these days, companies with your resume, if you're calling yourself a designer, you will have your designs, right? You will have a case study or a portfolio with you. So it is a mandatory requirement, even if you start applying for internships, though it might not be that great looking or something, but at least something to show your skills, right? You want to prove yourself as well, right? That what can you do and what are you capable of. So yes.
Could you tell me a difference between interaction design and UX design?
Okay, so interaction design is, again, I would say, a part of UX design. UX design, like I kept mentioning, it's the whole experience that you're designing, whereas interaction is something that a user interacts with the product. Meaning, how is the user going to interact with it? Is it going to is the user going to click on it and interact, or is the user just going to swipe and interact, or what is it? I mean, so have you guys heard about this? I mean, I don't remember the exact company, but uh, I saw a lot of advertisements where these mobile phones came out, and you can just take a selfie by blinking your eyes. So you blink your eyes, and then the camera will click your picture or something like that. Did you guys hear about it? I think Ranbir Kapoor was doing the advertisement for such, or maybe Varun Dhawan. I actually don't remember it now, but so yes, so that is what is interaction design. How would the user exactly interact with the product is interaction design, and that is a part of user experience design. So how is the interaction going to happen? What is going to be the interaction? That is what is interaction design and user experience design.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, okay, so guys, if you guys are done with your questions, I think we are done for today. I'm going to let Apurva take it from here.
Hello.
Hi, Apurva.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. So thank you, Divyani, for joining us, and thank you all for taking out time and getting some handful insights on UX UI. I hope it will be helpful for you all in the coming future. I just wanted to let you guys know that the recordings of this particular session will be shared to you within 2 to 3 days. Okay, and for more updates and for more interactive sessions, you can follow us on our social media handles. The link of the social media handles are given in the chat box. You can refer to it. And if you have any queries, you can reach out to us also through mail or through our customer support contact numbers. Thank you all for joining. Hope you have a good day.